Alright everybody, I know it's been a while, but I'm doing some updates on the smoker. One of my big issues, I kind of just been up firebox the last time, and I went ahead and remade it. It's got some stops up there that wedge against the top, and it's the full dimensions so I can fill it up. Before it was smaller and I just was, lost a lot of space in there. But also another thing that I'm doing is, one of the big issues was when you try to clean it out, or if you had to pull the box out, all the ash was falling here. I mean, you can see it on the deck of the trailer and how it's kind of not been so nice to the fender here. So what I'm going to do is make something that I can slide in here when I need to clean it out. And I just made this up as a template. I got a hole cut in here so my ash bucket can come in here. But the issue I'm having with this is I'm going to move this hole over a little bit just because it's close to the fender down there when the bucket slides in. So this is my template. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting some steel and getting to it so that it's just easier to use and doesn't make as much of a mess. And this is what I've got laid out for the actual bottom. So it's just an 8-inch hole, and I've got it 6 inches off, so it'll be 2 inches around it. I'm going to cut this, and then I think I'm going to put a ring on the bottom, actually underneath the pan, that the bucket lip will slide into and hold it on there. Alright, so I've got the little bit of bead roll detail done that I wanted. I wanted to mess around with the bead roller, haven't used it much yet. And then it's going to add some strength to this bottom. And then after I did that, went ahead and made up sides and a back for it. There's really nothing special here. It's just cut out of the same 18 gauge steel that this is. It's got a break with a 1/2 inch overhang here. And then I've just got some clecos holding it together. And it's sitting on some 6x6s clamped down to the weld table. I'm going to go ahead and tack this in, make sure I like everything, make sure it works out well out there. Then I'll have to figure out some sort of bracket that holds this up, since I'm going to make it to where the bucket will hang on here. So I've got to find some way to make this stay up against the smoker while I'm cleaning it out. So I'm going to go ahead and tack this, and then I'll see you guys later. I've got the TIG out. I don't TIG much, so I'm just going to get some practice in with it. Alright guys, so here's what I ended up with. I kind of missed a couple steps here because it was trial and error on some things that I had done. I had it way overcomplicated. I had a plate here that was bent up and had an angle. I got some pictures of it the way it used to be. It just wasn't fitting real well. I had some square stock here on the sides. I made some brackets on the trailer itself. I'll show you those in a second. And the square tubing was just because it was a square tubing in a square hole, so it had contact all 4 sides, and it was just really hard to get in and out. And I ran it through a couple times when I used the smoker, and it was just too hard to get in and out. And then my edge here, it had a small gap between this edge and then the plate. So what I ended up doing was cutting off the square tubing, putting on the round stock just so that there's 4 contact points, and it fits a lot better. And then I put this across the front rather than the angle piece, so that this will actually sit down on the bottom of the burn box. And then that's what the transition from the burn box into the collector. And to hold my ash bucket, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I've got some steel that is just bent in a 90 right here, and that is where my bucket slides in. So the bucket will go in here, and then it catches around here and just hangs since it's off the ground. That way I don't have to worry about the ash falling and then going through air. Like when I used it this weekend, we had a ton of wind, so the ash is able to fall down in here and it wasn't blowing everywhere. One other issue that I did have with my new setup is I've got a new burn box that I made, and I made it to where it fit pretty good in the chamber down at the bottom, but it was one thing I didn't think about is there's a lot more steel in it now than the first one that I made, and it heated up with the fire in it. So when I tried to add some charcoal into the cook, it was actually swelled into the frame around the front, so it was hard to get out. So I took that out yesterday and ground some off the sides, so I'll show you guys that in a second. Okay guys, so we're out here at the smoker, and here is the new box that I made. It's just rebar and expanded metal, and then up in the back I've got 2 little tabs so that it can hit and lean against it, so I don't have to worry about trying to grab the sides or anything if it's hot. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to get welding gloves just for this, so that if I do need to add anything, I can just grab this, pull it out, and then throw some coal in there, and then slide it back in. And then as far as this setup goes, I don't know if you guys can see the brackets. That's what I was talking about. I had a piece of square tubing that was fitting in here. It fit well,
but it fit a little too well, honestly. It was just snug and it held it in place, which that's what I was going for, was a precise fit, but I don't need that level of precision on this. So what I've got instead is this just comes in, fits there, fits on this side, and then drops down in. And then this is what we got. So like I said, I've got this piece here as a transition just to keep, you know, because I had it to where there was a hairline gap, but I had some coals dropping down and landing on my gasket. I didn't want that. So these guys work out well. And as far as the bucket goes, this is my ash bucket. And it just fits in right like that. So, like I said, just that angle holds it, and then it hits against this back here. But it's not full, but it does have some weight in it. That's the leftovers from the cook over the weekend. So, I just wanted to show this off. It needs painted still, but it's kind of hard to tell with all the dew on the smoker right now. The whole thing needs touched up. It's been sitting outside lately. So, I just wanted to show you guys this because it's just a, you know, one of the little mods to it that kind of needed to happen. I mean, you can, I don't know if you can tell on the camera or not, but where ash and stuff's been hitting the fender and landing on the deck of the trailer, it needed to happen. I finally got to it, and just had some time, so I knocked it out. I think it turned out pretty well. It works for what I need. So, hope you guys find this useful. Thanks for watching.